what I understood when they were channeling, they were saying that if we open up, when we open up to this higher version of ourselves, we step into 5D and everything runs really smoothly. There's such a beautiful way of living. It's another way of experiencing ourselves through this higher consciousness, and that is fully possible for us. What I sort of didn't understand was how we do that without having an NDE or without having a trauma, because you said that that could also spark something, or without having to work with you or someone else. So is it through meditation? Like what, or do you have any tips on how do we actually make this happen?
Absolutely. It is empowerment all the way. Empowerment all the way. And absolutely what you just said there is meditation. It was the thing that shifted me massively. The dark night of the soul, or the perceived idea of that, came in. Yes, it did. And it comes in different ways, and it might be different for everybody else. But the key thing for me was the sense of connection. And that came in meditation. Then it then shifted into breath work. Then it started me moving the physical body a little bit more. And then I was making space. So it's really good that we're going to simplify now what I've just spoke about, because that's a little bit like, and I do hope that the viewers still stay with this to get to this point, because I need to understand it too. So the information comes in and I'm like, okay, so I'm with you, okay? But it is purely connection into the now moment that allows you to then sit in here through the heart into who am I, okay? So you're not looking outside of yourself, you're igniting your own light, whether it comes up as light language that you ignite from inside of yourself, or whether it comes in with any other format. Maybe it might come through breath work, might come through we being really connected with nature, because remember, everybody has a different blueprint, a different template, a journey, a contract, however you want to name it to be. Is that somebody like myself as a healer will have this availability of consciousness, because that's what I came here to do. And so if we've got other people that might be really beautifully into candles and scents and wonderful aromas and gardening, and their journey is going to be completely different to mine, but their capability to help them move through their old baggage and suppression of their light is through the connection to more than what you think you are. So to simplify it right down to the basics is, I would suggest meditation. Absolutely. Time and time and time again. Go inside. You hold all your answers. It's just waiting to come up.
What is the deepest insight you have received from your galactic friends?
Ooh, oh my God, there's so many. The main thing that I'm sort of working on, so let's make it sort of quite like in the now, is the understanding of how this whole structure works. And the main thing that comes in for me in this now moment is mind control. Now, we could think of it as something sort of telling us what to do, and there is that sort of element with media and things like that. But if we look at, like I just said about the inner standing, is that we can analyze and self-criticize, if you want to use that word criticize. That's sort of quite a gritty word. Is that and this is thinking, is that we have a self-speak that gives us a creation of our reality. So my galactic guidance is that just watch what you're saying, watch how you are feeling about yourself, and allow yourself to see it as being something that you've experienced but no longer serves you. So we don't need to keep going into patterns and cycles. And that's a massive lesson that I've experienced with my inner guidance, my multidimensionality, is the strength of and the potency of who are we? We are creator beings having a human experience, but we're kept in a tiny little box. We've got to move that box out to the next level of box, to the next level of box, so that we start to see the reality in a wider concept. Now, our mind can suppress by a deep core wound of an emotional state, fear. So we hold back because we don't want to expand, because we fear something. And if we fear something, then the mind is going to step in, because the mind creates 5 senses and emotions. When you go into a high level of consciousness, you allow yourself to observe, and you come in from this observational neutral position, and there is where that great wisdom starts to come up, and you then start to activate through a rite of passage. Through a rite of passage, we need to work through this ourselves. No one's going to do it for you. And you allow yourself to, oh, okay, right, I see that now. Do you know what? I'm a bit fed up of that cycle and pattern. Thank you very much, universe. Thank you, higher self. Thank you to all that is. I would like to now go into my next evolutionary step. And there is where my galactic guidance then starts to step in and brings me that wisdom with the activation of that energy by downloading high frequencies within me. Whether that is through light coding from my perspective, or whether for your viewers, for you to then have that sense of maybe prayer within yourself, or ask and you will receive, that you see, firstly, which you are not. You really honor your emotions by feeling into it, and then you allow yourself to move forward, is through the experience that allows you then to see. So all that I've spoken about, somebody might say, well, that's just really weird. Be open to receive, and then you will receive. So it's see, to feel, and then experience. And as you move through that, you'll step into another level of consciousness, and then you'll download more information, and then we work through the same process. We see which we are not, we allow ourselves to rise, and then we feel and honor our emotions, and then we come up. But all the time we're spiraling through consciousness, so we're evolving through consciousness, rather than, do you know what, I feel quite comfortable here and I think I'm going to be all right with this. And that's perfect as well, you know. I could have chosen to stay at home and be mother, but my soul's journey gave me this feeling of, come on, Nicola, you've got this work to do here. And it's not work, actually, so that's not necessarily the right word, thank you. But it's just like the pure, like, beingness is sharing and helping people through their own journey, to show people how I did it, to allow them to say, oh, okay, oh, that's a good practice, this, and this. And then they can then start to do their own work. It's all about empowering people to step up and see which they are not, allow themselves to actually then say, okay, I'm going to start this journey, I'm going to go deeper, but I'm going to be open to receive, rather than, that doesn't resonate. Allow somebody to have a perspective. If it's not for you, then it's not for you. Always take which is relevant to you and resonating with you. And then that empowerment comes forward, and then beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bliss starts to arrive at your back door. And it really does. It really starts to become so much more clearer within your mind. The mind control starts to lift. You're then opening up to high levels of consciousness and wisdom. And then it sounds all like roses and, you know, sort of buttercups. You know, and there are those moments of deep work, but those moments become less in linear time. You go down, oh, yeah, I can see that within myself, and I'm going to move that through me, but honoring it through the same movement, and then letting yourself climb. So you're spending more time up here in bliss state rather than all that heaviness down here. So you're transcending the lower realms of understanding of yourself into a higher level of consciousness, and then you can hold that energy. But there is that rite of passage as you move from here up into here that allows you to walk that path and then move into those higher dimensions of experience.
To watch the full video, click the link below, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel.
Resto maliata falia, tan shavra leto.